Good morning, everybody. How are you this morning? It is Wanda here from Today's Tarot. How are you all? I think I may have to wait before you all jump on a little bit. It's really good to see you all today. Hello, Mana and Denny. How are you? Thanks for joining me. As you can see this morning, I have got a normal deck of cards. And when I was young, learning all about tarot readings, I actually learnt first of all on a small deck of cards. You know, look at these. And I really, quite a famous Australian reader helped me learn to read these cards. She's passed away since. And anyway, this is me right now. And I'm going to give you a very special card reading before I start doing my little talk for this morning to help you along in your daily life. Look at these. So I'm shuffling them away. There are, out of the whole deck, this deck actually represents the tarot. It's like the history of it. So in the olden days, people used to use this sort of like a deck with pictures on it to play the game of what they called tarocchi, which was like the game of life. And so, you know, and it all started in Italy. So not with the gypsies and all those other stories that you hear. Anyway, so they would play the game of tarocchi and talk about, and then of course when people are together, what do? They share their problems. And then of course they'd have a look at the cards, and then every little card became a meaning. And then eventually this little pack of cards, a little bit more ancient than this, I think you can still get some old photographs of the original tarocchi. I think, how far does it go back? If I remember, I think it's about the 1500s, if I'm not wrong. You can actually still see some of the images on Google. And then, of course, it moves into this later on. So there's a whole wonderful history about the tarot. So when I actually do a reading, I actually start with these cards. Why? Because these cards tell me the actual what's going on right now for you. Right now at this very present moment, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what is holding you back. So I'm going to start today's reading just by, you know, pulling one card. And it is always connected to the tarocchi or the tarot, like these cards that I use, okay? I don't always use these cards, but on my readings I do. So here we go. I'm going to pick one. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to open them up and pick one. Here we are. Wow. Okay, so here is the Two of Hearts. What does that mean? The Two of Hearts is actually a time card. So it means that if there's anything that you've been wanting to manifest in your life, if there's anything that you are hoping to receive a message, it means that you will receive it in the shortest amount of time, which could be 2 hours from now, 2 days from now, and at the longest time, 2 weeks. Okay, so that is a time card that tells me that. It also tells me that somebody is an admirer of yours. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean a love relationship, but it could mean that. It's sort of very broad because I've only picked one card, but it could also mean that a boss is interested in your work, or somebody is watching you from a distance. Now, it could be romantically linked, like I said, but most of the time it could be about someone who is watching you, somebody who is interested in what you're doing. And so it could take 2 days, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks until this becomes opened up to you and reveals to you this. So if anything happens and that's next time, that is what it means. Okay, I'm not thinking anything else. Oh, and it can also mean that there are 2 things you need to make a decision on. Okay, you're deciding on 2 things. It's all to do with 2. 2 means balance. Okay, so are you balancing, you know, your life at the moment? Are you working too hard, not enough rest? Or are you procrastinating? All right, so that could be something. Now so I thought I might just show you those. Can you see those lovely pictures on the back? I bought these in Hawaii when I was there last year. Look at that little Hawaiian girl. Those beautiful mountains are amazing in Hawaii. If you've never been, please go, because it's just beautiful. Now, what I want to talk to you about quickly this morning, when I am now shuffling the tarot, what I want to say to you is, are you consciously aware? Do you know what that means? Because when you are consciously aware, you can start to consciously create your life. You can consciously start to manifest things and become the creator. So if you're not consciously aware, and it means that you are governed by how things happen in your life, so things happen to you and you'll go, oh, I better do this, oh, I better do that, and you're not going, hang on a sec, that person said this, I don't need to respond. Or you could also feel, how is my energy feeling right now? What are my thoughts saying? I remember years and years ago, I was reading the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I was reading a chapter, and that morning I had to go to do an art workshop somewhere in a school, and I'm driving along, and as I'm driving along, my mind took me back to like 10 years ago on a memory. And another part of my mind, well, it wasn't my mind, it was my higher self, said, there you go. There's that thought. There's that thought that tells you you are not consciously aware. When you are consciously aware, you are in the present moment. You are right now. You know where you are. You know what you're doing. You are focused on that rather than a memory taking you off somewhere. That is when the power of your beautiful presence means that you know what you're doing at every moment. And when you are in a state of unconsciousness, that's not a bad thing, by the way. Sometimes it happens when I'm driving. Does it happen to you when you're driving, that sometimes you're driving along and you get from A to B, that could be like 50 kilometers away, and you wondered where you were? And that's because you are on autopilot, which actually means that you are in that state of openness. Okay, we don't want to be in a state of openness and have a car accident. Okay, so tell me, do you understand what I'm saying? We must start from that point. We must start from the point of being consciously aware, being present. Right now, here's my body, here's my mind, here's my higher self. I know where I am, I know what I'm doing, and I'm very aware of my surroundings, and I know what I need to do. That is being present. And when you are focused on that and you deliberately, consciously, intentionally set out to be present, you won't get wound up in those past thoughts about, oh, I could have done that, oh, I could have done this, because let's face it, a lot of people whinge and complain. Don't be a whinger. Don't be a complainer, because that is what you will attract. One thing that Esther Hicks always talks about, oh, there are all my notes, right, always talks about is right now in your life, if you do not have what you want, it is because you are the full result. You are the total sum of what you have been projecting out there. So what do? Accept it. Even though you're not consciously aware that you did it. That's why I'm talking about the present moment. Okay? So I'm going to shuffle the cards out. I hope that's making sense. If you're listening and listening to the replay, let me know. Does this make sense to you? Are you consciously aware of what you're doing from minute to minute? You know, and when you're in flow state is constant presence. is constant attention, and it's not this. It's effortless. You don't have to go, oh, hang on a minute, I have to make sure I'm present, because when you're in that flow state, your higher self is working with you. You're not sitting in that last minute, in those past thoughts that are stressing you out. Does that make sense? It's very important that you understand that small little thing as it sounds, that you start to become present, become aware. It was on that day when I was driving in the car and my mind went off to the past, and my higher self said, that's it. Look there. Where did your mind just go? And I went, oh my God, I so understood it. From that moment, I know that when I'm in overwhelm and I get stressed out, if I get stressed out, I struggle, or I struggled to be in the present moment, right? And I really, every day, I make an effort. I'm here. This is what I'm going to do. I'm intentional. I'm consciously intentional. What am I going to do today? How am I going to behave? How will I react? Am I showing the best version of myself each and every moment? Because I'm stepping into how I want to be in the future now. How I act, how I behave, how I want my thoughts to go happens now, not when I've got my degree and not when I'm feeling better. Even if you are feeling sick, seriously, even if you are sick in your bed or wherever and you're really miserable, say this to yourself: what can make me feel better right now? And like I said yesterday, if you're feeling really like hopeless and you're feeling helpless, get angry. Get angry about it and go, holy moly, because anger is a better feeling than feeling helpless. And then from anger, where can you go? From anger, you can go to maybe acceptance and go, well, okay, I can accept the fact that maybe I created this and I'm not really knowing why I did it, but if I accept that and I can be present to that, and maybe I don't have to blame my husband, my mum, or my dad, or my brother, or my sister, or the person across the road that did this to me. This was to help me in my highest good. And how can I act about that? How can I behave about that? How can I respond about that? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because it is in the every tiny little moments that we need to watch. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And I keep saying I hope that makes sense. Well, I really do hope it makes sense. Comment below and let me know, because I really, really love your comments. It helps me find out what you're thinking, and it also gives me some ideas about how I can best serve you. All right. Now, I showed you the little cards a couple of seconds ago before I went raving on, I should say. And today's card, oh my God, it's again, holy moly. That's amazing, because I shuffled the cards before I start, call in my guides, and here it is again. The card of the Empress, not the Empress, the Priestess. Okay, the Priestess is the alchemist. She is the manifester. Now listen, guys, if she's showing, I'm getting goosebumps all over me right now as I'm speaking. Manifestation right now. What are you going to create for yourself? What is it that you really want in your life right now? I certainly know what I want. What do you desire? Right, desire is a beautiful word, because desire is of that best feeling. When I use the word want, it sort of comes from a lack of, I don't have it yet. But this card tells me you are now in control. You've got the keys to the car, and you are sitting in front of the wheel of a brand new Audi XPYZ WQ, massive, fantastic SUV, whatever. I don't even know if a car like that exists, but you've got the keys, you're in front of the wheel. Where are you going to drive it? Where are you going to drive that car to your future? Because this is what this card is all about. And I guarantee if you stick to being present and really manifesting for the highest good, using your talents, using your passions as a way of helping others in the world, you are going to get there. All you need is determination, and don't give up, because your monkeys in Ubud, in your mind, will go, I told you you're hopeless, you can't do it, you never have done it, you never will. You know, remember that time when you did this, and school has never been a good thing for you. If you listen to those thoughts, you will not get anywhere. You have to listen to another level of yourself that is not saying that to you. Your highest good will never say to you, you're no good at something. Your highest good is always there for your highest good. So that is the card for today. All right, now I'm shuffling for a person who is going to be very lucky today. And I'm just having a look at the feed, and it's frozen. I can't read who's on the top, which is the usual thing. So I'm going to do a general reading. Let's have a look. Oh, cool. Now, okay, this guy here, Valentino. I don't even know whether you're on anymore, darling, so I'm going to do it for you. And if you hop back on, that's great. And if you don't, well, you're going to miss this message. But we all know that it is for Valentino. If you're on, just let me know. Hi, Wanda. Yes, I heard it. Thank you very much, or something like that. Valentino, this is for you. The angel of exercise, Valentino. Okay. Now, the exercise card, it means this. Yes, it does mean physical exercise, but it also means exercising your mind, exercising your heart, exercising your soul and your physical body. So feel the rhythm. Go to a dancing class. Maybe if there's some salsa classes, or like South American dancing, or anything, rumba dancing, any of you who can get yourself to a drumming class or anything like that, go do that. Get feeling into that connection, feeling into your lower 1-2 chakras down the bottom. All right, down here where your second brain is. So feel the rhythm, feel the activity. Get into meditation. Meditation is the exercise of the mind. Now, this morning is my first morning I haven't meditated, so after this I'm going to do a meditation, because I had to actually do a prayer just before I started to my higher guides to assist me, because I had a very strange morning this morning. And as an entrepreneur, you handle it as you go. You don't get freaked out. Guys, this is today's card, exercising the mind. I hope that's helped you, Valentino. That is beautiful. A beautiful card to remind us to stay in the rhythm of life. And the rhythm of life is exercising our mind, our soul, our heart, our body, and manifesting to our highest good our true desires. We do not have to live in squalor, upsetment, grief, and loss for the rest of our life. It's up to you. You make the choice at every moment. And so today, what are you going to choose today? What are you going to choose today for your highest good? Think about that one. And until then, I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.